and I got pictures to prove it. So we pull up.
Seen them.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we pull up, and the whole time we're driving, it's about a 10-minute drive. So I can only imagine how long it was walking.
Yeah.
So it's about a 10-minute drive, and they're just having they're like two big kids play fighting in the back, and we're laughing, and I was like, yeah, at the time I was friends with their younger brother who plays college ball now, and when I showed them the picture and I said, yeah, I wrestled too, they both gave me a chop.
Oh.
On the mind you, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm just coming home from work. I'm tired. These guys are wired. They're wide awake, and I'm getting chopped by two Samoans. And
wow.
I had a tank top on. If you guys see the picture, I'm wearing a gray tank top. I felt everything, but being part, kind of in their peers, just on an indie level, I kind of had to take it like
that didn't hurt.
My wife looked at me and she kind of because she kind of smiled like she knew I was feeling the numbness of the
get the ice ready.
And so we get to the front, and we had a good time. We talking, just laughing, watching them be kids in the back, and the whole time they're thanking us, because we're not at that time, because I'm within the business now. The typical fan would be so starstruck, so I was extra quiet. I didn't want to show them I was a mark, as they call it, but I just wanted to help them, because these guys obviously are well known. I didn't want to have them stumble around trying to figure out how to get back to the airport, so I figured let's take care of them. And it was very very good experience.
Nice, that was awesome, man. And I saw the pictures. In one of them, I think they're headlocking your wife, or
no, actually,
or something like that.
The thing is, okay, this is a weird. She might continue laughing at this one. She's in her night clothes now. All she was intending to do was just pick me up from work. Yeah. So she's not done up. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even think she had a bra on. Like, if you see the picture with her with them, she's covering herself. So, and she's not made up or nothing. So this is a real picture. It's not photoshopped or nothing. Yeah. She's literally in like pink, pajama shorts and a tank top, and she's like this. John actually had pulled her out of the car.
Oh, okay.
Because at first he was like, "Hey, you guys want to, take a drink with us, or whatever?" I said, "Nah, okay. We got work in the morning."
They still wanted to party, huh?
But they were in the hotel, so
okay.
that that's fine.
Yeah.
They was like, "Hey, you want to come up and hang out for a little bit?" I said, "We got to work in the morning," and so he pulls her out of the car because she was driving. So she took the picture of us first, and then he pulled her out the car, and then I took the picture. And I think it was Jay. Jay, he was dancing in the camera. So there's one picture where he's like this, kind of moving. And she was very shocked that he even did that, because she wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite experience as of right now.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for sharing that, man.
Thank you.
All right. So now let's go ahead and find out who won this F5 match. And of course, the audience is the one that's going to pick the winner. So between Lockjaw and myself, Captain Bogey, the way we're going to do this is we're going to place a hand over each one of us. And depending on the sound and the energy of the audience, we will know who our winner is. So I will go ahead and begin.
Bogey.
Oh, I got one bogey. You guys sure?
Bogey.
I think at this time, 0-17. 0-17. I think it's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up.
And the winner is Lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
All right, guys. Well, there you had the F5 match. It went down. And as usual, I came up with the L. So, guys, stay tuned. We got one more segment with Lockjaw, and we're going to get to know him a little further than the wrestler. So you guys stay tuned to The Fuse Show!
All right, folks, here we are on 24/7 Miami Radio. I'm 24/7. Let me talk to you about what's going on our shows on our very quick break, because we're going to go right back in there, because this interview is getting very interesting. It's going to go to the second half of the interview. So here we go. Let's talk about one of the shows we have on 24/7 Miami called Cannon Fire. Cannon Fire goes on with Adrian Marquez every Saturday at 9 o'clock. We have Adrian Marquez talking about comic books, and all those new comic book movies coming up. We have they talked about Wonder Woman on the last episode. They talk about all the different events going on in the comic book world, movies, TVs, and in the comic books, which is not all the same, and even video games too. So you can enjoy all that stuff here on 24/7 Miami Radio. Also, in one of our other shows that we have, The Couch. W. Coleman, and I always forget his name, how to call him, because he has a weird name, which is on Twitter, which is Two Dogs Poop. Basically, that's what it says. You can follow him on Twitter. Find it. It's funny. It's hilarious. Coleman, Planet Coleman, W. Dubai. They talk about sports. This is The Couch. These guys from The Couch talking about sports and what's going on. We just had our championships. We have the Penguins win a Stanley Cup. The Warriors win a championship. And yes, we had a lot of different things going on in the world of sports. So baseball season is now in full effect. So these guys are going to be talking about it. So guys, get ready, because we're going back in there, back in the set, in the studio with the man himself, Captain Bogey. What is this special guest? Lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fuel Show. All right, that was a tough one. I'm gonna join you, man. And this stuff is good, man.
42 grams of protein.
Not bad at all.
It'll fill you up for a couple hours.
I was telling him this thing, it tastes like Yoo-hoo. You guys know that old school, man. That's what I was drinking when I was a little kid, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yoo-hoo is delicious.
What is that?
Yoo-hoo.
More power.
Yoo-hoo. You never heard of Yoo-hoo? All right, we got comedians out in the back. Security. All right, so let's talk about Warrior Breed Wrestling.
Okay.
First, how did you come up with the name, and what does it stand for?
Oh, man.
Warrior Breed
Like I
Wrestling.
said, with Warrior Breed Wrestling, that was a name I had came up with right around the time I started using the Warrior Breed moniker with the Lockjaw character.
Okay.
And I was still actually in Jersey at the time, and I always pictured myself one day having my own company.
Nice.
But I pictured it later on down the line, if, whether I retire or I'm just, getting old. And I figured, well, I can still do what I love doing in the business,
Exactly.
having my own company. And, the opportunity presented itself sooner than later, and I jumped on it. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a go-getter. I try not to stay idle too long, because it's almost, I think that's a military thing with me. Like, complacency kills. Like, you get complacent, you get comfortable. Now it's like you're not necessarily motivated to move,
Exactly.
continue moving. So I'm always on social media promoting, whether it be the company, whether it be Lockjaw, whether it be just my brand overall, from Lockjaw Aggressive Lifestyle now to Warrior Breed Wrestling. And I'm having a good time with it,
Awesome, man. And when you're having fun with something,
It's
that's
not
what
work.
makes it even more
Exactly.
special.
Exactly.
Now, you just mentioned Aggressive Lifestyle. You actually copyrighted
Yes.
Aggressive Lifestyle.
Yes.
What made you do that?
Like I said, I want to make sure that, not necessarily make sure, but I take pride into everything I do.
Okay.
So I want to always protect my brand.
Okay.
Always make sure that, and that's one thing I try to tell the guys that I have training with now, and even people that I work with. I try to give them tips on something very simple. You always want to copyright your stuff, even if you make it to the big leagues and they change your character. At least when the time should ever come, if you ever come back down to the indies, you have your character, you have your brand, that is yours.
True.
And I do that with everything. I've done that with my music. I've done that now with Warrior Breed Wrestling, and Aggressive Lifestyle.
Awesome. I want to shift it over a little bit to the pros, WWE.
Okay.
And Jinder Mahal.
Okay.
It's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of him being the champion at this point, beating someone like Randy Orton, and getting that push where the last few years You know, he was just there.
Yeah. I think it's a good change for not only WWE. I think it's a change, obviously, for the industry, because you don't see too often the mid to lower card guys shooting straight up to the top so quickly. I mean, I think it was a good move as far as public relations is concerned, and then also with the fact that they're now expanding to the India fan base, and that's a very huge fan base. So I thought that was a good business move. As of right now, he seems like he can really hold his own at the top. And, I mean, I look forward to seeing more surprises, more changes with WWE and just wrestling itself.
Cool.
Because what happens is, again, you get complacent, you get comfortable doing the same routine that everybody picks up on it before it happens.
They flipped the script with him winning.
I mean, and it works because as a fan watching it, and even now as a wrestler kind of having the inside scoop on certain things, it's like we can tell who is going to be in the main event based on just how predictable it's become.
Yeah.
And then now in the day of social media, it's almost it's transparent basically.
And information is instantaneous.
Yeah, so it's like it takes away, for me, it takes away the value of the sport itself and then the product itself, because it's like, do you want to spend money watching something that you kind of already have the answer to?
Yeah.
You know, but having those swerves and changes, I think, do make people engage people to want to watch, because now it's like, wait a minute, this is outside the norm.
Exactly.
Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, he wasn't even a U.S. champion. Now he's the top dog.
Yeah.
So
and he looks good in the
oh yeah, he's definitely put in some time in the gym, and despite what people may think, you know, what he's doing to get that size, that's beyond the point. The fact of the matter is, they saw something in him and they pulled the trigger on him when they felt it was the right time, and I mean, I think it was good for business.
Exactly. All right, now, do you like being a face or a heel? And let me mention these 2 points, because the Lockjaw persona sounds like you can be a ferocious heel, but at the same time, you also have that look that you're ready to take on bullies, you know, for the ones that can't defend themselves.
Right.
So it's like you can fall in either or.
Right.
So I mean, what do you prefer? What do you like?
I mean, I like to stay in between. And, I like to be the tweener, basically.
Okay.
Because it gives me the chance to play and, dial in and out almost at the drop of a hat. If I need to switch based on the storyline that I'm in with the shows, it won't take too long for me to, change over how I react to certain things. So if you kind of play on both sides, if you play on one side too heavy, sometimes it's harder to change over right away.
Yeah.
And I use the example, obviously, with Hulk Hogan. He was such a big baby face, and then when he went to the NWO, it was to the point where he didn't really want to do it because of how much love he was getting from the fans. And when he did it, I mean, in the beginning, it wasn't what he expected, but then it took off, and now he's loved either way.
Well, listen, when that happened, when he came out as the third man in the NWO, that was a shift in wrestling.
Yes, it was.
And he fell into one of the best storylines, and he benefited just 1,000%.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing move on his part.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many tattoos do you have? Because it's a lot. And are any of them related to wrestling?
Oh, yeah. This one right here.
Okay.
That's actually the logo.
The
logo right there.
There it is.
This was actually my military logo. The original writing, it was kind of faded because my skin, I have like eczema or whatever. But the original writing was a quote that I got from Red Dawn, the remake version with the guy who plays Thor.
Oh, okay.
And there was a scene in the movie towards the end where his Marine buddy, the quote was, "Marines don't die. We go to hell to regroup."
Oh, wow.
So the Marine background is they call us devil dogs. We got that name from the Germans during World War II.
Cool.
And So I have the dog there as a representation of Lockjaw, Warrior Breed Wrestling, Marines. It just fits.
Cool.
I have one sleeve, a crown here for my wife. That's 2, 3, 4, and I got 2 on the back. I got tribal wings on my back.
Oh, nice.
And then I have Phase, which was actually my first tattoo. Phase is a rap name that I used to go by when I was younger.
I saw a few pictures
Yeah.
out there with Phase. All right.
So that was my. I actually got that tattoo when I was in the Marines training for Iraq. I was in California, and that was my buddy. He was like, "Hey, we got to get inked up before we leave," and that was the first tattoo that came to mind.
Cool. All right. We're gonna go in the few time machine here for a moment. All right. So I'm gonna take you back.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna take you back. We're gonna go ahead and meet and talk to 25-year-old Lockjaw. At this point in your career, your experiences, what would you tell 25-year-old Lockjaw? What would be your advice?
I would basically say